Chris being ranked number one and just kind of what kind of a target aside from everybody else being defending champion does that put on your back for this meet?
I don't think it adds too much, Nate, really. I think we're kind of the target anyway. And, but it is, I mean, it's there. So I think these kids, when they get to this conference meet, I mean, and I'm talking about everybody in the meet, not just the Arkansas athletes, they compete hard. And I don't think that's really in the back of their mind. It might be in the back of maybe some coaches' mind, but I don't think the kids. So I think it's out there, and yeah, I don't think it's that much of a factor.
Is Alabama, you feel that's probably their closest competition, or anybody else you see as a contender?
Well, I think Alabama is a strong contender. Also, Ole Miss, who has a good contingent of middle distance runners, and so I think that they'll be in there scoring a lot of points as well. So,
and I guess Lance, just kind of how do you look at it? Who do you feel your main competition will be?
Well, presently, Florida is ranked ahead of us nationally in the polls. LSU right behind us. The SEC is very formidable when it comes to the national rankings. I think we have 6 of the top 9 teams ranked nationally in the U.S. Our situation is that we've got to hold off everybody as best we possibly can. This will be number 11 as far as a continuum of SEC titles via cross, indoor, and outdoor. And number 10 was really tough. Number 11, I think, could even be tougher to try to hold off, our SEC foes. When we look at the national rankings and you look at the best marks nationally, you just wonder if any other conference really tries, because the SEC is just so formidable. Marks that would have been a scorer last year at the national championships, this year won't even make it to the national meet. And that's because of the holdover of the COVID year and all these 5th, 6th, and 7th year kids that are staying in the sport, trying to make their mark before they go into the real world. So, yeah, we're going to have our hands full, to say the least.
Who do you feel your best shot is as far as winning some individual championships?
Well, our 4x4 is very, very good. Unfortunately, there's another SEC school ranked in front of us. Part of that is because of different tracks. Some tracks are faster than others. Some have less turns, etc. Our distance medley is ranked number 1 in the U.S. They can contend with anybody. Lauren Gregory is always a factor. But our pole vault crew, the number 1 vaulter in the U.S. is at LSU. And then we have 2 others that are nationally ranked. So on a given day, anything can happen in the vault. Shafiqua Maloney is the number 1 half miler in the U.S. So she'll go in as a favorite. So I think we're fortunate that we have people that maybe are either leading the nation or leading the SEC, or they're in a very good striking range, that we could maybe gather a few of those titleists that would definitely help the team score.
And finally, Chris, just who you feel you have that's got a shot at winning an individual title?
Well, we'll see. I think our 4x4 team is really good. I think our distance medley team is really good. We have Eamon Kemboy that he'll run the 3,000. He just put up the 3rd fastest time in NCAA history in the 3K. Had a good weekend last weekend. His legs are fresh. He's only run 3 times. Aiden Owens, we're not competing him in the heptathlon. We're gonna say rest him for the NCAA meet, but he will be competing in the 60 hurdles and most likely the 4x4, which has the third fastest time in the country in the 4x4 as well. So he will be used. He wants to compete, but we won't have him. And he's ranked number 1 in the heptathlon, Nate, as you know. So yeah, and then we got Philip Lemonius, who is NCAA All-American, both indoors and out. He's one of the top hurdlers in the country. So we've got some potential to score. Although I will say this, it's not how many home runs you hit, it's how many runs you score. And that's at the end of the day, that's how we're looking at this meet. And it's always team first. And, we're going to put our best lineup that we can to win the track meet. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to put all of our guys in their best events, or we're going to run everybody in their best events. As you know, those good athletes can do multiple of things. Aiden Owens can run the hurdles. He can run the 400. Eamon Kimboy can run the mile, the 3K, the 5K, the DMR. There's some of those athletes that can do it in any event they won. They'd be a factor to maybe to win, but it's about scoring the points. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bob, do you have a question?
Yeah, Chris, until you said that about the runs and the home runs, I'd kind of forgot it. I think last year, I think this is right, that you guys won the indoor title without winning an event. Is that's right, isn't it?
That is correct. Which means that we were good strategists, okay? because we won the meet. And I think
a lot of bunt singles, Chris. A lot of bunt singles.
Hey, what does Van Horn call? He calls it small ball, right? So you find a way to win. And Lance and I, we're putting the lineup. It is, again, it's not about how many dingers you hit. Okay. A lot of schools will load up their best guys, and they don't have a shot at winning the meet. And, they have a different agenda. Our agenda is to win the track meet. And if you go down and look at the list, at the SEC list, and you look at the leaders, I don't think there's a school that has more than 2 leaders in any event, so it's not just us, it's everybody. The league is, from top to bottom has some great athletes. It's who can put the best team together. And that's what we're trying to do.
And we talked about this, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or whatever. You guys weren't ranked, and we knew that really wasn't valid, but now you've gone from not being ranked to being ranked number 1. So indication you've had a pretty good season. What does the number 1 ranking mean to you? How do you feel about that?
Well, it means we're viable. We're a really good team. I think it's really a credit to my coaches, Doug Case and Travis Geffert. We purposely started off walking, not running in these early meets, and those guys have done a great job. That's why I'm excited, Bob, about not just this number 1 ranking. I mean, yeah, we're there. There's a bunch of teams right behind us. But I really think our best performances are ahead of us. And so, we didn't go crazy on January 18th or even the meet after that or the meet before that. I mean, we had our eyes set at the end of the year on this. And so I think our hurdlers haven't had their best race. I think our 4x4 hasn't had their best race. 400-meter people haven't had their best race. Our distance runners, Eamon Kemboy, he's only run 3 times. I don't think he's had his best race. So that's what I'm excited about, is the potential of this team this weekend and at the national championship, just in the fact of, how our coaches have done a good job of timing this thing out. And we have to stay healthy. I think that's the big part.
And usually these conference meets, a lot of it's people who double, even triple, with relays and individual events. Who do you expect kind of be your heavy workload guys this weekend?
Well, I don't think we have anybody tripling. We have some doubles, but we've, probably the toughest double might be Andrew Cabet and Elias Schimmel. Both of those athletes are going to run the prelims of the mile on Friday. Hopefully we make it through. I mean, there's 11 sub 4 minute milers, so there's no guarantee that they're going to make it through. We hope they do. And then, they will run the mile final, and then 2.5 hours later, come back and run the 3,000 meters. So, that's a tough double, whereas Eamon Kemboy is anchoring the DMR, and then he'll come back and run the 3K on Saturday. So some of those doubles are a little bit tougher than others. But and Lance will attest that it's a league where doubling is almost even impossible at this day and age. It's so good across. You can't get greedy with your athletes.
Yeah, I guess Taylor be on the DMR and the Open 800, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
No. He's at 800 is hot. The national leader is there, and so he's third, I think, and so he's just going to run the 800.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Lance, who do you feel like will be I guess Lauren, you obviously have a lot of choices with her. I guess she'll be on the DMR, and what's the game plan for Lauren?
Lauren will run the mile and run anchor on our DMR. And then if need be, we'll run her in the 3,000 on Saturday, the last event of the day. So, but that's only if we're having to really scrap to try to win the team title. I don't like doing that, but she wants to do it, and we'll play that by ear on Saturday. We do have some other people doubling, and in that situation, some of our upperclassmen, besides Lauren, Logan Jolly and Chrissy Gear and Isabel Van Camp are going to have to help carry some of that load.
Well, who else do you have doubling? What are they doing?
Chrissy Gear is going to run DMR mile. Isabel's running the 5 and 3, and Logan Morris is running mile and 3.
Yes, Malloy doing the DMR and 800.
No, Shafiq will only run the 800 and then possibly come back in the mile relay.
Okay. Well, I think I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Alyssa, did you have a question?
I don't. Just safe travels and good luck, guys.
Thank you. I think the hardest part is going to be making sure we get out of town.
Eric, did you have a question?
I'm sure the rest of the SEC would love it if you guys got stuck in bed.
Had weather issues, yeah.
They'll still scratch and claw their way to College Station. They'll find a
We're
way.
getting tired of people calling the hogs all the time.
Lance, you mentioned earlier on about the going for 11 in a row, but I also wanted to be able to highlight the fact that this would be 10 consecutive indoors, which obviously, I think the longest run that Tennessee men ever had was 8, and the Arkansas men was 7. Like just being able to continue to find the people, to step up, like you said, Lauren potentially answering the call in 3 if that comes to that, or just everybody being all hands on deck to do this for a decade straight through COVID, through graduation, through transfer portal. I mean, just how profound would that be for you?
It would be obviously very special because I didn't even know about it. I think it's a situation where every one of those championships, like Chris, we're trying to figure out the right combination of chemistry to put together to be competitive in this conference. And, the SEC speaks for itself. It's so dominant that, somebody in the SEC is going to win the national title. It just is a rotation of who gets to have it on a given day. Now, obviously, University of Texas is prepping itself for the future as well. That's probably motivation because their AD said, hey, we're going to join the SEC. So they kind of went into an acceleration to make sure they're ready and willing to handle the SEC in the near future. But, obviously any type of, legacy, if you want to call it that, is really, really special. And I think one of the things that helps us is the present team never wants to let down the alumni as far as being the ones that, let go of the rope. So, but at the same time, the SEC just gets more and more formidable. Times and marks that some of our alumni got away with, men or women, now wouldn't even be competitive. And we've had some great athletes on both sides.
And Chris, speaking of milestones, I mean, again, obviously, I know you're only concerned about the 2 days at Texas A&M, but but this would be number 25, I believe, for the men's program, and it would mean that the men's indoor track and field and men's cross country would be the two winningest programs in any athletic program in school history. And I think only 10 athletic programs in all of the SEC and every sport combined will have reached that level. I mean, just just the consistency, I guess, whether it's been you, whether it's been McDonald, anybody who's loved this program, just the consistency, to be able to reach numbers like that is, I mean, I know you're only concerned about winning this one, but that, like Lance said about a legacy, that's pretty empowering.
So I am only concerned about winning this one.
Yes.
That all being said, I think it's just a tribute to, it's just a tribute to the commitment that the school has to track and field. That it's, to win championships. I don't know who said it, but I don't know when coaches win games, but administrations win championships. I mean, it's just it's a commitment to the excellence at the very top, and I think, Eric, that's a big part of it. And also, both of us we've been blessed with great assistant coaches, and they have stayed and contributed, and they're loyal and all that. And so I think it's just a mix of all those types of things that add up to winning these championships. And obviously I'm proud of what we've done in the past, and but we got our eyes on this weekend. So yeah.
Thank you, guys.
That.
Anybody else with a question? All right, appreciate everybody's time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hope the travel